So after many months and many years of searching for a PlayStation 3, I eventually got one not so long ago. If you haven't checked out that video where we unboxed the PlayStation 3 in 2024, make sure you check it out in the card in the top right hand, left hand corner. It's this side. That's all I know. But with that, I thought that I'd dedicate this next episode of Top 5 Tuesdays to the 5 PS3 games that I am desperately looking to play, and I can't wait to get into them. Now, one of them I have already started playing, which is awesome, so that one is kind of just like a little bit of a throw in just because it's one that I have and I have been dying to play before that, but it is on the screen now, so if you can guess which one it is before the end of the video, please guess in the comments below and let me know which one you think it actually is. Anyways, let's hop straight into number 5. Now, number 5 is a game that I saw Mystic Ryan playing, might have been a year or two ago at this point, and it is such an interesting looking game that I just could not leave it off the list, and it's something that I've been looking for, and I know it's relatively rare nowadays. It's not overly expensive, but it's not the world's cheapest game either. It has held its value quite well, and that game is called Folklore. Now, Folklore is a British Pokemon-esque game. Don't think that's a really good way of describing it, but you go capture mythical creatures from the British lore, if you want to put it like that. And it looks really, really interesting. It's a game that has 2 different worlds, if I can remember correctly, and I just really want to play this game. It looks so much, well, very unique compared to everything else that I have seen, and that's something that has become very apparent to me when I've been looking at PS3 games. They are very unique and they're not very repetitive. Everything is very different to what we see nowadays, where nowadays everything seems to be copy-paste. So the PS3 era has some of the most unique type games, and Folklore is on the top of my list, and it is one of those games that I really want to play. It sort of reminds me of the Alice in Wonderland movies that we had for a good few years, where Johnny Depp played Mad Hatter. That's the best way I can describe it. Okay, without further ado, let's move on to number 4 on my list. And number 4 on my list is a game that I've actually played quite a good amount of, but I played the portable version on PlayStation Portable or PSP, and I thought that was a pretty good version of the game. However, I realized there were so many things missing from the main console version of the game, and that is Lego Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars. There are so many aspects of this game that I have never even seen before, including a whole battle mechanic where you get onto battlefields and you battle clones versus droids, and I have never seen that before. So it is definitely a game that I really would like to put some good hours into, and on top of that, it has trophies, which is fantastic. If you know me, I like trophy hunting, so having a system where, or having a game that I've loved since my childhood, have trophy support, that's really cool. Actually plays into another one of my games on the list that didn't actually make the list, so it's a little bit of an honorable mention, but you'll see that in just a second when we talk about number 3, and number 3 is Ratchet & Clank: A Crack in Time. I haven't played any of the PS3 Ratchet & Clanks, and I feel like I'm missing out majorly, and I have major FOMO for that, and I know it's 2024, so I think I really need to rectify that mistake. And the one that I chose, A Crack in Time, was due to it being the first one that had trophy support. Now, obviously, Ratchet & Clank 1, 2, and 3 have trophy support, but I really wanted to put something like A Quest for Booty, or there's another one that I can't quite remember the name of, but they didn't have trophy support, but those are still games that I really want to play, so I chose A Crack in Time because it's the first one that had trophy support. However, I have recently found out that Ratchet Gladiator or Ratchet Deadlock, even though it's only available digitally and not physically, has trophies, and I really, really want to get that game digitally and play that, because it is probably one of my favorite Ratchet & Clank games. It's my first Ratchet & Clank game that I ever had and ever played on PS2, so it holds a special place in my memory, but for the sake of this being a PS3 list, I thought that a PS3 version of a game, or a PS3 original game, should be the first one that I put on the list. So that is why A Crack in Time has taken the number 3 spot on this list. Now, in the number 2 spot, we have this game that you're seeing on the screen now, and that is God of War Collection Volume 2, and I am loving it so far. I'm about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours into Chains of Olympus, where I have been thoroughly enjoying it. I played the Chains of Olympus on PSP, and while it wasn't a bad experience, it it got uncomfortable to sit there for a very long time and play such an action-packed game. So now that I'm playing it on the PS3, I can truly appreciate the game, and I'm loving it so much, and I can't wait to just get back into it and probably finish it in a very short amount of time and then hop into the next one, which is Ghost of Sparta. So there are some really good games like that where you can have experiences that were maybe a little bit not the best, so like the PSP versions of these games, and then play them on PlayStation 3. And again, here you get trophy support, so that's awesome. They also have the original God of War games. Thank you, Luna. She brought me a stone. The original 2 God of War games, so God of War 1 and God of War 2 on PS2, those also have trophy support on PS3, but I'm playing those on PS Vita, and that actually is a more comfortable experience than playing it on the PSP. So I'm not too stressed about playing those. Maybe I'll finish God of War 1 on PS2 on PS Vita, and then play the rest on PS3. And then obviously there's Ascension and God of War 3, but God of War 3 we want to play on the PS4 with the PS4 remaster. Anyways, I digress. God of War Collection Volume 2 is a game that I had been searching for a long time, and I had prior to even getting the PS3, because it's actually a pretty valuable title, especially if you try to find the one that is not the non-essential version of the game. And obviously I'm not an essential collector, I like the game's stock standard, so when I purchased God of War Collection Volume 2, I did pay a good amount for it. I bought it and the PS Vita collection for about 500 Rand total, which if you know what their prices are, that's really not bad. I think I could probably double, even triple my money off of what I have paid for those 2 games just by themselves. But let's hop into number 1, and I've cheated a little in number 1 just as I did in number 2, because technically number 2 was 2 games and number 3 is 3 games. Number 1 is 3 games, I apologize. Number 3 is the Sly Cooper collection. Now, I have to admit that I have never played the Sly Cooper collection. However, these games look like they are so far up my alley. I would love to play these type of games. They are the quintessential PS2 platformers. The art style is unique, and it's a sucker punch game, so it really has to be something incredible. So I missed out on these on PlayStation 2, and the PlayStation 2 games are getting quite pricey. I know that the first 2 specifically are really up there already in price, even in South Africa. So I feel like the best way to do this is just get the Sly Cooper collection and play all 3 titles with trophies. And then, yeah, that is the game that I really would like to play the most on PlayStation 3, even though I know they are PlayStation 2 titles. But yeah, let me know what other PlayStation 3 games I should be having on my list, and what games I should really be checking out on a console that actually has quite a few exclusives still to this day, because it is such a strange system to work for and work on for publishers. So we have quite a few games that are still stuck on the PlayStation 3, so let me know what you guys recommend for me to play on the PS3, and hopefully I can add them into my library of 100 titles that I would be collecting for the PlayStation 3. Anyways, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week further, and that you will join me on Friday for what is another stacked episode, and another episode that is quite experimental, especially for someone in South Africa. So join me on Friday for that video, and check out all my other videos if you haven't already, and like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. Anyways, check you later.